that is retail, commercial. One of these is a grocery store. I know that. And I thought this place was a grocery store, but it's community. This was a shopping center of some sort, and the zombies might be back. I did loot the ice cream store, and there is a green place over there as well. All right, so I want to go have a look. Beza, the fuck are you doing, man? What have you been up to? Thank you for the fucking resub and the cheese slap. Actually, hold on, I gotta eat the candy corn first. I gotta eat the licorice and shit as well. And yeah, what have you been up to? It's November in my game, and it's just constant rain misery. I hope it turns to snow soon. See, my problem with the first winter... Cheese indeed. My first winter, I didn't know when it was going to be, because I'm Australian, right? So we're the reverse hemisphere of America, and this is based on American seasons. So I wasn't quite sure when it hits, because I'm not that attentive to like when the seasons are for us. I didn't even realize we're in autumn until like, you know, the start of this week. And it's like the 20th of March. And I'm like, yeah, like the birds and stuff, the sound of the birds have changed in my area, but like not much else. So yeah, I'm like, because everybody's been talking about spring and shit online, and I'm like everybody's like talking about this like false spring that's happening, and I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? Are you like hoping that it's spring? Is this what's going on? Oh shit, not that close. Seat yourself furniture, plush. But no, apparently it's actually like spring weather or whatever. There is a food mart there, but I think it might be fresh stuff. Let's go have a look in the back. Here's the only problem I've got with this is I cleared out hundreds of zombies here, and they're all fucking back. So that does suck. I do think I can get across this back area. Some areas as well, spring, autumn, just barely seasons depending on the local climate. My thing is, like, in the game, I didn't even realize that the seasons changed until it was snowing. Like, I kind of knew that there was a winter mode, but I thought it was like a choice difficulty that you could choose to play on. Like, I hadn't even considered that they were changing, because like you start in summer, and after a while they just kind of stop being hot and sweaty all the time, and I'm like, I just figured that they just kind of like, it got better. There's a grocery store. Okay, that's a grocery store there. I will leave this out in the middle of the road. We are going to have to clear out some zombies here. Springfall in Alaska is like a week. Oh yeah. But you're right though, some areas of the world barely get like seasons. Like, I don't get snow here, right, where I am in Australia. So like for me, it's more about it just gets like really fucking cold. Oh, no. I said get down, mate. I don't want to be on this side of you because there's zombies on this side of you. Over there. I don't know if she's too tired yet. But yeah, because I don't get snow here, I might leave them alone. We might be alright for a moment. They're migrating away, so I might be able to get in here. When winter happens, I get very cold. And I can't, I guess disassembling it's no real different than if I took out a window, but it's going to be the same kind of level of noise, I think. So, is there a back door? Hold on. I don't think so. Let me get away from it for a second so I can see the back of it. Nah, there's maybe. I'll walk around. I'll go have a look. They're going to be swarming up around my car. But yeah, where I am, you only know it's winter because it's just like, it's ice cold in your house, but there's no snow. Like, it gets really, really cold here. But like, the houses aren't like well insulated. So yeah, it kind of sucks. Okay, I might be able to get in this back door. I'd rather disassemble this back door because there's a second door there. And also, while there is zombies in the area, there's not that many near me, you know? The shop seemed to be connected by a back entrance. That's what I was looking at. I was looking at the fact that there was like this blacked out bit here, and there seems to be an internal door beyond it. And I'm like, if I don't have to smash a front window, I don't have to smash a front window. And then I have like a little safe area that I can kind of be in for a few minutes. But I will have to go around and kill the zombies at the front, though. So, yeah. of stuff changes seasonally in Project Zomboid. Like, kind of stuff you can forage, how many fish you can catch. I didn't know that. Visually, you'll notice it by frequency of certain weather. But it definitely does have subtle things, like, really makes the seasons feel like seasons. Like, the game starts summer because means visuals slowly gets bleaker the longer you play the save. I did notice that. I did notice when it hit winter. There we go. When it hit winter, initially, I'm going to go back around the front because there'll be zombies that were attracted by that. I noticed all these vines died off. And that was when I first noticed that I had vines on my house. Because I hadn't really noticed them on it before that. But as soon as winter hit, all the plants died off. And it was like really super obvious. Where did they go? They must be just on the other side of that car. Okay. But they didn't get attracted to the front of it. Okay, there's just that one dude up here. I'm okay with this. And there was like a dude out the back. But yeah, after I got past winter, when we had snow, all the trees and stuff died off, I noticed the next time I started that like we had like summer and then the plants like in spring, the trees were like kind of like pink and shit. And obviously as soon as summer turned to autumn, you had like, no, hold on, give me that. I'll pull that apart later. Yeah, when summer turned to autumn, it was like immediately obvious that, you know, all the trees suddenly go to like this change of foliage and stuff. We don't get that in Australia. Our trees don't turn like orange and pretty and shit. They just turn brown. Like the plants do like brown most of the seasons anyway. Like they're either green, brown, or not on the tree. Or alternatively, in summer, we have a lot of jacarandas and poincianas and grevilleas and stuff. So the trees are either purple, red, or yellow. And they'll be like that super, super like vibrant sort of full color and stuff. So when they drop, like they just go to full flowers kind of thing. So when they drop their petals and stuff, they just drop like a blanket of whatever the color was on the tree, on the ground and stuff. It's pretty nice. But that shit's slippery and smelly as well once it starts falling and stuff. I should know, I stacked it running around in like school and shit when I was a kid. I tried to take a shortcut down like a drain, and I just like, I forgot that like the petals were falling that week. And yeah, I just like basically like slid straight down the fucking drain instead. So I do have to just check that there's nobody at the back here. I don't think there is, but I'll just quickly check on my flashlight. Because obviously if I can ferry some of this food out, like I'm only going to be able to fill up whatever's in the car. Okay, mint. Nice. I'm only going to be able to fill up what I have in the car. So I want to find if there's anything good stuff. I forgot the most obvious one. The amount of daylight hours changes by season 2. Not dramatic as some areas of the world. It's done very light hours per day. That is also a thing too that I didn't really think about. But yeah, in Zomboid, I did notice that there was a point in time where like it seemed to be darker a lot more. But I'm also just, as I said, like just kind of just did not notice that it was doing it. I, like in real life, like here in winter, I think it's night, it's like dark at 6 p.m. And like, I can't remember how late it stays dark in the morning and stuff. But yeah, it does get very dark. Whereas in summer, like you can have sunlight up until like 8 o'clock at night and stuff. It can still be quite bright, depending. I will take the vegetable oil. I do want to take this stuff, but I also kind of sort of don't. I know I can make flour and stuff, but this is all dependent on like being able to cook in the first place. It's a tiny change per day, and it's to creep up without making obvious it's happening. I generally notice because like I've had like jobs where I have started before dawn, before sunrise and stuff. And in summer, I'd be leaving just as the sun was starting to get close to being visible. And other times I'd be leaving and it's dead darkness, and I get home in dead darkness and stuff. Whereas in summer, it's pretty obvious. Like you come home and you have like the light in your eyes while you're trying to drive and stuff, you know. I also think she might be able to get her calories up with maybe the soft drink, perhaps. But anyway, I still don't want to like load her up on soft drink and stuff because there's a lot of weight and it's not a lot of food. So we'll see. But yeah, I always sort of notice in that way. At the moment, I'm actually really well attuned to like the time of day and stuff like that. Because like I'm home all the time. And because I'm awake at night and asleep during the day, like I'll wake up and I'll normally try to guess what time it is based on what it looks and feels like before I actually look at a clock, because I don't wear a watch anymore. After my last like Fitbit decided to basically stroke out, I just haven't replaced it, and I haven't got like a normal watch and stuff. So like if I don't look at my phone or I don't look at my alarm clock when I wake up, I try to like guess what time it is based on what it feels like and what it kind of looks like in like light amount. And sometimes I can tell that it's like still daytime, but it's like raining and stuff. And it really does help like kind of stabilize like what time of day it is, like without even knowing. I have like a very strong internal clock, and even at night I can roughly tell what time it is based on just the feeling the temperature kind of thing. Even if I can't see outside and I have the lights on above me and stuff, it is a feeling to it I can't really describe, but it's obvious, you know. At this rate we're going to get a lot of food. I'll probably still go up towards the fuel station to sleep though at nighttime. Now I reckon all these will be rotted. It would be nice if you could take seeds out of the rotted fruit, but I kind of get it. Once it's rotted, it's probably decomposing all that shit too, you know. I worked night shift too once. Felt weird waking up having morning coffee and it's dark out. I actually really liked when because I had 3 jobs at the same time, and I started at like 5 at one job and I didn't finish the last job until like 11:30. And so like when I got up and like was driving to work and stuff, there was like nearly nobody on the road, but the people that were on the road were like fucking speed demons. And it was hilarious because like I was also like blending in with the crowd. I'm like, this is fantastic. There's like no traffic. There's nothing out on the road. There's no radars at this hour. Like it's peaceful kind of thing. I don't know if I want the foil, but I might take it with me. I don't think I either haven't seen it before or I haven't seen it for a long time. So I'll take that home in case I need it. But yeah, obviously like, oh, I thought I heard a zombie. When you're working like normal hours and stuff like that, you've got like that extra almost hour in transit of like, you know, waiting for the traffic and stuff like that, because like at least here in Australia, they kind of fuck around with these electronic signs. And the way it works is that when you're driving, they can adjust the speed limit in whatever zone you are automatically remotely. So you'll be driving and it will say like 100, and then you won't know that it's actually changed down to 80 after you've passed it and stuff like that. So yeah, you might suddenly be speeding even though you weren't speeding when you passed it, you know. It's stupid. But yeah, because of that, there's a lot of variables and stuff, and it causes people to sort of drive a bit stupid. And yeah, on top of that, you obviously have like the either sun in your eyes, like, and it kind of like sort of stops you from being able to like see the cars around you properly and stuff, and people like brake too hard and all sorts of stuff. It's just stupid. Where I am, there's like no way for me to kind of get somewhere without getting on a highway to go there. You know, there are back roads and stuff like that, but depending on the time of day or night, if it's pre-sunrise or on dusk, you don't want to take a back road because you've got kangaroos, and kangaroos will destroy your car if you hit one, and possibly also yourself if you hit one. So, you know, it's generally safer to take a highway. on like dawn and dusk and stuff. Obviously, like the middle of the day, you're fine. Anywhere's fine. Middle of the night, nah, highway. Middle of the night, you get all sorts of shit out on the road. Like you see like giant snakes and all sorts of shit. Yeah. The kangaroo is so cute, but I've heard they could be very aggressive and dangerous. So the thing is, a lot of the time people just see like the kangaroos that you see in like zoos and shit like that are kind of like small and brought up around people, and they're pretty docile and they are very beautiful and stuff. Like kangaroos do have a very sweet face, but like real kangaroos out in the wild, like some of them are larger than like adult men, and they're much leaner, muscular and stuff, and yeah, they're more of like, they're a prey animal, right? So like they will take you as a threat and defend themselves aggressively, you know, but they can defend themselves pretty well on land and in water and stuff. So like, yeah, there's kind of nowhere safe unless you want to climb from a kangaroo. And then once you're up the tree, you've got other shit up the tree to worry about. So yeah, it just depends. But like most of them will generally run away unless they feel like they can't. In which case, if they feel like they can't run away, I can't put more in there. I'll see what else I can grab. If I fill this up, I'll just drive home. I'll park up nearby, we'll sleep, and then I'll drive home. But yeah, generally speaking, like if you go like actual bush and you encounter a kangaroo, the kangaroos out there, like for instance, the kangaroos that were like at like my grandparents' farm and shit like that, right? They deal with like dingoes, wild dogs, all sorts of stuff, like as their bread and butter. And they are huge. They're huge, and they are genuinely terrifying on their own kind of thing, because they'll fuck you up if you go too close, because they're not going to run away. Not those ones. They will fight first and defend themselves, because like they just see like if you're near them, you're probably there to eat them, you know. Dingoes aren't big. Dingoes about the size of like an average sort of medium dog kind of thing, but they are like pack animals and stuff. So it's not so much about it's like, you know, the threat of a dingo kind of thing. It's more of the fact that like if they see a dingo, the dingo will probably take the opportunity to try to eat them. So they have to fight. It's a survival situation for them, you know. Whereas like, yeah, in like suburbs and stuff like that, they might probably give you a kick if you piss them off. I think I've got enough food. I'm happy enough to drive home. I just don't know if that's clothing store. I'll just mark up if there's anything else around here food-wise. So, let's see. Where is my pen? Do you have any scary encounters with wildlife? I mean, I've had a lot of encounters with wildlife, but like nothing like that I consider to be scary. I mean, it depends on your perspective of scary. Like, I can literally be going to the toilet at like 2 or 3 a.m. in the middle of the night and have like one of my cats herd a giant spider towards me while I'm sitting on the toilet. That is terrifying for some people, you know? So it really depends on your like justification of what is a scary encounter, you know? Yeah, no, I have not seen a koala in the wild. I don't think much of them personally. A lot of people either like them or don't think much of them. And yeah, they're just, I normally just put it as like, they're just very dumb animals. They're kind of like the sloth of Australia kind of thing, but they're like well and truly overhyped. I do want to have a look at, I know that's fashion. I thought it might have been food, you know. I just want to have a quick step around and see if there's any more food places, just quick. Because I know that's a restaurant, but most of the food will be rotted except like sauce and stuff. I do think that car was shit, because I looked at that originally, but I couldn't do anything. Hang on, go have a quick look. It really does like fighting kangaroos for biscuits. I don't know why you'd be fighting a kangaroo for biscuits, but like, yeah, if you're at like a zoo sanctuary sort of thing, I don't think they let you feed them anymore either. This has a good hood. If I could remove that, I'd take that. Is this just, it was locked? Hold on. It may have not had fuel. Oh, I could get in it. Did I hotwire it? I did not. Well, let's get this shit hotwired so I can take it in the future. This is also what I'm up here for, as well as hotwiring a few cars in the area that I liked the look of originally. While I can. This also looks like it's a good area where I might be able to sleep in my car. So I might be able to hop in my car after I fix this one up. And if it just needs fuel, I could pop around to the servo. That thing's in the ground. But no, I've had blue tongue lizards walk into my lounge room before. I've had an echidna in my backyard that I've had to like capture and relocate. I've like in my childhood home we've had snakes like let themselves in. In this house I came home one day and I had a frog. Like I don't know why. Can you turn the engine on and just see? I think it's empty. I didn't check before, but I didn't look if it had fuel specifically, but I don't think it does. But yeah, like I've run up the hallway, like my cats are enthusiastic and I'm like, I don't know what they're like enthusiastic about, but I'm like, I figured that they were like just frisky. So yeah, I went to run up the hallway and a giant frog jumped out at me. So that was terrifying. I'm still relatively perplexed for how it got in my house, but I figure what may have happened is, I think what they do is they climb up your garage door and then climb in over like the top roller and then like just plop down into your garage. And then I have like an internal door. So I think what it's done is it squeezed itself underneath that and then it's gone into house. But I couldn't fathom out how the fuck it squeezed under that because it was a fat bastard. And I'm like, you know, like the big green frogs and stuff we got here, like if they're big, they shouldn't be able to squish, but frogs can like squish themselves to all sorts of shapes. So, I mean, it could have been anything. Hey, Viking, I see you sleeping. You've been sleeping a lot lately. I don't blame you though. But yeah, no, I don't know. As for like other wild animals and stuff like that, the only other instance I've had, for instance, like with a kangaroo, is when I went to leave my parents' place, because they're also on like rural property as well. Like they had just moved in and the kangaroos and the wildlife and shit in that area were not yet adapted to people being there yet. And so it was one of the big wild roos, right? And I went out to my car. This is like at like 1 a.m. I was leaving their place after like a gathering or whatever. And I walked over to my car and this giant fucking roo stood up just around the corner of the house, like right near my car, on the other side of my car. And I'm like, scared me fucking shitless because like it was one of the ones that was like, you know, a big 6-footer or whatever. And it was like postured perfectly towards me kind of thing. And that shit's scary as crap. If you can imagine like any kind of horror show sort of thing where like a character's standing there and then like, you know, a really tall entity just like fucking curls itself and stands up full at them. Like it's like that. That's what it was like for me. So yeah, it was not great. I might actually fill up her gas can thing and maybe put some in that because I think that car will run. So yeah, that was very unpleasant. But like I just very, very slowly backed off and like went back to like the front door and gave it room to be able to leave on its own. So that like it didn't feel threatened or anything like that, and it just left kind of thing. But like if I have pushed forwards, it may have decided to come around the car and like fuck me up, but I wasn't willing to find out. Like you just don't fuck around and find out here. Cause yeah, that the size of Rue that's like not gonna survive levels of disemboweling if that thing decides to take you on kind of thing. I am just gonna get some fuel while I'm here. I might actually just top up the van too, since I'm here. Let's plop You there? I'll get out and get the fuel can as well. Dog is such a coward. He's a little frog once in the driveway and is scared of it. The little guy can't be brave in other ways. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't think like my cats were particularly worried about the frog. I reckon they were probably trying to hunt it. Because I've also had like a mouse get in here before as well. And like the cats just kind of like, it's just interesting to them. They'll just follow it around kind of thing. That's more what it is. I can't remember if I put fuel in this. I think I did. I think I put my thing of it. You connect the generator. We'll get this shit started. I think I've still got all the lights on in the place. This will run it a lot harder than the other place, but I only need it for like a minute or two. I don't know if that's close enough, but I'm hoping it is. All right, let's turn you on. There we go. Let's not fuck around. Let's get fuel into this. And then I'll get fuel into my gas can. And I don't know if a full can of fuel would get that one car home, but it would be enough to drive it up to here to fill it up if I needed to take it home. So it should be fine. Fill that up. And my car will be full, so I know I'll get all the way home with this car as long as I don't drive into shit. But yeah, the car is basically full with food, which means I do have to take it home. I'll probably come back up here after like another day and see if I can get her some more food. I don't know if there's another like grocery store in town though. So, and she's overweight with stuff. I might need to fill up the drink bottle while I'm here too. Turn that shit off. I thought for a second there, I thought I heard something like, you know how you hear like the zombies like thudding their head up against stuff? I thought I heard that, but I don't see anything. The other thing I got to be careful of though is this place has got like the broken windows and stuff. I broke that one to get in originally to unlock this place, but still, like it still stands by like zombies can get in here. I also did use a lot of water out of this place originally because the power I think went off while I was here. I feel like. Anyway, I've also had her eating like lollies and shit as well. So I'm kind of hoping, yeah, her weight's going up. It shouldn't be too hard to get her weight up, but after it's gone up, I don't know how well it's going to be maintaining it. Like I said, by then I might be dabbling in more kinds of food, so we'll see. For the moment, I've got my stockpile. I don't know if this is going to fit. Check that in there. But yeah, if I can, I don't know, I've got plenty of room in there. Alright, I don't know what happened with my... Maybe I interrupted her before. If that's the case. Let's check on fast forward, because I've got a lot of room. I thought that was really quick that it filled up. Okay, I don't have to go straight back then if that's the case. I can fill up that black van with a little bit of fuel. Just enough that it's capable of limping over here. I did leave some, like, split peas or something like that in the grocery store, so in the worst case scenario, there is something that I could technically eat. I don't know if eating them raw would be good, but it's fine. I've still got a chocolate bar thing on me. Alright, so we got fuel, and this thing's full. Like, I could take out, like, the police station and stuff, but I have, like, no desire at this point for guns. I would like to get down to my taxi. I also should have checked that blue car to see if it was in condition, because if it has condition... Like, I don't have Sunday Driver anymore. I could absolutely just murder the zombies easily. I'm pretty sure Nourish is a fresh food. That might have magazines and shit. Maybe. And there looked like there's Saucy, which I don't know what that is. There's a hairdresser. I've already done the books. It looks like a restaurant. This... What is this? Kind of looks like this has got food. I do have to go around the back to fill up that particular car. There's a zombie inside here, but there's like nothing else, which I'm okay with. If he breaks through that window,